Let's talk about switch access to the Bookshare Reader iPad app. We're going to talk about adding your switches, adjusting all those switch settings, as well as cover how to use single switch scanning and how to use manual two switch scanning. Let's dig in. To add switches to your iPad, you're going to start by either plugging them in with an adapter or connecting them to Wi-Fi based on what kind of switch you're using. Then you're going to go to your iPad settings. You're going to go to accessibility. You'll go under the physical and motor section and choose switch control. Then you'll go down to where it says switches and you'll say add new switch. You'll choose what kind of switch, and today we're talking about connecting an external switch, so we'll choose that option. Now you'll be asked to activate your external switch, which just means to press it. You'll then be asked to name the switch. I have a Bluetooth switch that actually has two switches on it, and so I'm going to name it the blue Bluetooth switch. Just be sure you enable it. And then choose the action that you want that switch to perform. If I'm using an app like the Bookshare Reader app, I want one of my switches to move the focus to the next item. So I'm going to choose that option. And if I'm using two switch manual scanning, I will need to add two switches. And so the next switch I add, I'm going to name the yellow Bluetooth switch, and the action I'm going to choose to have it perform is to select an item. Now I'm ready to go back and back again, and now I can change the rest of my switch settings here. You can go ahead and turn switch control on at the top there so it's green like it is here. And if you have a single switch user, you're going to want to go into scanning style and choose auto scanning. If they are a new switch user, you're also going to want this switch control mode to be item mode. And below that is the timing. So if you have a new switch user, I would suggest the switch timing be longer than 1 second. I would start out at 2 or 2.5. And while you have lots of settings here that you can adjust, a couple that will make using the Bookshare Reader app much easier is adjusting this tap behavior to be always tap. And this will prevent your switch user from having to use an additional menu item every time they scan. The other setting you'll want to change is the focus item after tap. You're going to want to say current item. If you have an experienced switch user, I would also scroll to the bottom and turn on groups. However, this can be confusing to new switch users, so you can also turn that off. Once you have all your switch control settings in place, you can go back to the Bookshare Reader app. We'll start here in the My Library section, and by touching my switch, I will start the auto scan. I was able to choose the book there that I wanted to read, and now I'm waiting for that scan to get around to the play button. You can turn that sound off if that is distracting for the student. That was back in our switch settings.
One day Rocky and I were playing outside when along came the rain. Image Fury's hair is styled in a ponytail of curls as she is sitting at an outdoor table drinking tea. Her cat is sitting on a chair opposite her. From large to small it went. Presto. Just like that. There is nothing my hair can't do. Image Fury's hairstyle is ruined as rain falls down on Zuri and the cat who are sitting at the outdoor table. Today I woke up extra early all by myself. I was too excited.
Now you may have noticed that in order to pause that reading, I had to wait for the scan to get all the way back around. The other setting that I like to change when I'm using the Bookshare Reader app is the number of times that that scan loops. I like to just set it to 1 time. Otherwise, that scanning really distracts from the reading that the user is doing, because as you saw, it will continue to loop around as many times as you chose. And that was single switch auto scanning in the Bookshare Reader app. If you have a switch user who can access 2 switches, you're going to want to set up manual scanning on your iPad so that they can read easily in the Bookshare Reader app. Let's take a look at the settings that will work best for the Bookshare Reader app. We're going to go into those iPad settings. We're going to choose accessibility. We're going to go down to the physical and motor section and choose switch control. We're going to turn that on up at the top so it's green there. We're going to make sure we have 2 switches assigned. And then in our scanning style, we're going to choose the manual scanning. And in this one switch is going to move the focus and the second switch will activate the item. So the student can really go at their own pace. And as long as your settings are correct, the scan will pause on the play pause button as well. So let's go back. And so you want your switch control mode to be item mode here, the very top one. And if we keep scrolling, you want that tap behavior here to be an always tap so that the student doesn't need to tap through another set of menus. And you want that focused item after tap to be the current item. And this is what will allow your switch user to keep their focus on the play pause button as they're reading. If you have an experienced switch user, it will save your user some time by going down to the bottom and choosing to group items. If you have a beginning switch user though, this can be confusing to group those items. So for now, I'm going to leave them ungrouped. And now we can go back into our Bookshare Reader app. We'll choose the app. I'll use one switch to move through the items on the screen. When I get to the book I want to read, I will press my other switch. Now the content is going to load. I can keep moving here. If that's the chapter where I want to start, I can go ahead and click enter. And now I can move the focus down to the play button. And this is where grouping items would make it faster, because if I press my enter key now, it does nothing. I have to keep going all the way down. And now I can hit enter.
Chapter 1. Mr. Watson and Mrs. Watson have a pig named Mercy.
And you could see that my focus stayed down there at the play pause button.
Mr. Watson, Mrs. Watson, and Mercy.
So I can easily press it again and have the reading continue. And that is manual 2-switch scanning in the Bookshare Reader app.